Hey, MCE crew, crime is starting to have a negative effect on your bottom line. It's even threatening your number one asset. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about how you can work around this to keep your assets safe from crime. That's right. It is occurring and it's affecting you right here, right now. Let's jump right into it with what's going on here with CVS. Okay, we're going to go through a couple of companies and we're going to see how crime is causing a material effect on their bottom line. The head of CVS Health's anti-theft team told a Senate committee recently that CVS, currently experiences losses of $200 million at its chain of pharmacies with an average take of $2,000. Okay, so this is the kind of theft that they're seeing walk out of their retail locations on a regular basis. Now, look, this is kind of the reason we're here is, manifold. Part of the reason is we're not going to, as a society, start shooting people for just going into a store without a weapon and walking out with merchandise. Okay. We're not going to do that. Come on. You also know that if that did happen, that would be one hell of a liability for the company. Okay. So we're seeing these people go into these stores, in many cases, unarmed. Okay. And just take. And they're walking out. Now, part of that is fueled by laws. Like, they've got laws in California that say if you steal something that is beneath a certain dollar amount, that no police are called, there's no APB put out on you, and people have been taking advantage of that. Okay, the law keeps people from doing certain things. Now, you might get heated at somebody for saying something to you, or, some perceived slight. And depending on what kind of person you are, the only thing that may keep you from acting out violently is the law. And understanding that if you do something to this person that's opposing you, you're going to probably have to at least go through a lengthy criminal proceeding. Okay. That is, the law is the only thing keeping certain people from doing certain things if you have a certain mindset. All right. So when that law is relaxed, then that barrier is removed. And so we're seeing that occur in a lot of these instances. So CVS is talking about they lose $200 million per year on this kind of thing. And you might, they're making billions. But yeah, if you're a company, you can't, $200 million, I don't care who you are, that's a significant sum of money. Okay. And if it's walking out of the door, it's doing a couple of things. It is not contributing, again, to your bottom line. And it is also increasing your insurance. Okay. So it's working against you in actually two ways. The FBI's own data on robbery shows cases declined by a third between 2010 and 2020. But given the economic outcomes from COVID, who's to say that this year hasn't seen an increasing number of robberies from desperate citizens at the bottom of the economic food chain? That whole paragraph, I totally disagree with. And I'm glad that they're taking that kind of approach, because it needs to be refuted. What they're doing is actually very insulting, because once again, you hear this a lot. People equate poverty with crime, and that is it's very condescending and dehumanizing to folk who just happen to make less money. Okay, now when we were coming up, the whole neighborhood was poor, but no one was going out doing smash and grab robberies. Okay. That wasn't happening just because we were poor. Okay. And I hate when the media makes that assertion. They do it quite often. You got to be very, very keen to notice that. They go on to say, what we do know, however, is that this is the first time we've seen a blue chip chief executive cite crime as a drag on financial performance. And that in and of itself feels notable for a U.S. economy apparently beginning to fire on all cylinders, to say the very, very least. Again, I don't know about that. I'm reading from the Financial Times. They're over in England, so maybe they don't, particularly understand the situation over here as best as they should. Now, the CEO they're talking about happens to be the young lady who was the CEO of Best Buy, Miss Corey Sue Berry. And she was talking about the fact that not only are they experiencing what retail corporations call shrinkage, and shrinkage is basically the difference between a stated inventory and the actual inventory. So basically, it's shrinkage is stuff that's been stolen. Okay, they can't account for it. They didn't sell it. And what Miss Berry is saying is that, not only is that a problem, but the fact that when people come into the stores, this is so pervasive at this point that when people come into the stores, they are so brazen, okay, and sometimes so assertive and aggressive, even without weapons, that they traumatize the employees. And Best Buy does definitely need employees. They're not like Amazon. They're not an totally online business, okay? But you better bet that what's going to happen if this crime rate persists is you are going to have more companies move online, okay? Because you ain't robbing the Amazon warehouse. Have you ever been to an Amazon warehouse? They're like Fort Knox. You're not smash and grab in that. And even if you did, once you get in there, it's a warehouse, okay? You don't know what the hell you're stealing. So half the stuff you smash and grab, if you could do it, would be worthless to you. So that's what's happening with Best Buy and also with CVS, both of which are publicly traded companies. So these companies, when they are losing all this money, you don't think that is going to affect the bottom line? Well, let me illuminate you. Best Buy fell as much as 17%. The day after it said an increase in retail theft was hurting its profit margins. 17%, a lot of money. Okay, so that shows a loss of confidence in that stock. And going back to CEO Berry, she says, quote, "We are definitely seeing more and more organized retail crime." So that is having a material effect on folk who are investing in Best Buy, CVS, Walgreens. They're having the same issue. Okay. I was talking to somebody and they raised a good point, just as an aside. They said, how long until we start seeing these in homes? Now we start talking about your number one asset. Okay. Chicago is nearing, I think they might be actually beyond. Yeah, they're nearing 700 homicides in 2021. Now, what's your number one asset? Oh, you know what that is. It's your human body. It's your physical body, your mental and spiritual well-being. Okay, you've got to be healthy and somewhat sane in order to go out here and realize the asset potential of your body. Now, remember what we talked about with what is an asset. An asset is something that appreciates in value and generates income. And so, how does your human body appreciate? Well, by learning more. Okay, if you learn more and you become someone who is able to add more value to the marketplace, and you can realize that value, that's appreciation, okay, in terms of the asset that is your being, okay? Also, not just that, but experiences, spending time with your loved ones, all of that is appreciation. That is your being appreciating. On the income part, well, it's self-explanatory. We want to get ourselves into a position where we can actually employ our intellect and what we've learned about finance to put us in a position to derive income beyond that which we're able to generate with our own efforts. Okay, so we've only got 24 hours in each day. We need to sleep, we need to eat, we need to bathe, and all that good stuff. we can only get so much money out of that if we are reliant on ourselves generating that money. So that income piece for our human body needs to be multiplied in multiple streams of income. Okay, and so that's how we use. We're granted that ability by virtue of having sovereignty over our human bodies and over our minds. Okay, that's sovereignty over your mind is a big thing. That's why you got to really pay attention to what you're putting into your mind. Otherwise, you can have other people thinking for you and you not even know it. All right. So with Chicago, near 700 people have been deprived of their number one asset. Okay. If you are not among us on this earth, you cannot appreciate in value and you cannot derive income. Usually there are dead people who are still generating income. Elvis Presley is one, Michael Jackson is one, the Kennedys. So you can do that, all right. But I know you want to be here to enjoy a lot of that, right? Even if you're helping your family out with it, you want to be here. So it's possible, but it's not your first choice. So a 1-year-old boy survived a gunshot wound to the head in Chicago the other day as the Windy City nears a grim milestone for homicides in 2021. Talisha Ashford was driving on Chicago's South Side with her 3 sons when shooting erupted near her vehicle. A bullet pierced the windshield of the SUV and grazed the head of her 1-year-old son. Now, this woman is driving along. She's minding her own business. Okay, she's not involved in any of this crap that's going on. And a bullet comes through and hits a 1-year-old baby. All right, this is serious. So when we're talking about just an inch in either way, maybe it would have done the unthinkable to this child, okay, or to the mother herself or someone else in the vehicle. It's just unconscionable, absolutely unconscionable. The crime thing is out of control. And look, let me just be clear with you. It's fueled by liberal policies, okay? Let's just put the cards on the table. Yes, there needs to be a stronger rehabilitative aspect to prison, to the criminal justice system for non-violent offenders, okay? And when I say a strong rehabilitative aspect, it needs to be something that maybe we can take a page out of some other countries' books. I'm not a criminal justice expert. I just know that if you throw a person who has a nonviolent set of convictions into a situation with people who have violent convictions, then, you know, the least common denominator effect is going to take place. And that person with the lower level crimes is going to become someone who now aspires to more brazen criminal activity. That happens, okay? That's statistically a fact. So we need those people to be separated and into some type of more rehabilitative, less penal, more rehabilitative, program to make them see the light and be able to become, develop the skill set to become folk who are productive in the society. Now, for those who are bound and determined not to do that, and for those who are out there shooting at people and endangering these children, okay, and peaceful, law-abiding, hardworking, tax-paying citizens, those people need to be shown the harshest brand of justice imaginable, okay? So to remove them from our society and also to send a message that that type of activity will not be tolerated, okay? And there's no compromise on that, especially when we got 1-year-old children being, put in harm's way like that. Here in Baltimore, we had quite a few children, okay, die here recently as a result of being murdered by guns, okay? And I'm the biggest Second Amendment advocate you're ever going to meet, okay? Charlton Heston ain't got nothing on me. But I do think that folk who commit these crimes, they shouldn't even have guns in the first place, okay? Because they've either already racked up a felony record, or they're the type of people that, are bound and determined to take that weapon and do more than just defend themselves, okay? They're being offensive with it. So these high murder rates, what do you need to do? Well, you need to look at your companies that you're invested in, and you need to think twice as to whether or not you can maintain that investment. What dollar effect are these crimes having on the stock? Okay, you need to evaluate that. And then what you need to do is you need to think seriously about, continuing to maybe operate in the spaces that you operate in or live where you live. Because if you are deprived of, your being, then you're deprived of existence, let alone the ability to make money, all right, for you and your family. Let me say another thing about this. Your good health, okay, actually opens doors to other financial assets for you. The life insurance business. Now, we've talked about it a ton on the channel. Most people equate life insurance with just a death benefit, when nothing could be further from the truth. If someone's thinking about life insurance as just a death benefit, then they're not educated on the true power of the quiet wealth that is represented by the insurance companies. Because the main benefits from a permanent life insurance policy are designed to benefit you while you're here on this earth, okay? Big time financial benefits that include a whole bunch of ways to legally avoid future taxation, and an ability to use that money that you are insuring your life with, or a life with, having that money increase in value off of the insurance of your very life, or a life. But that life has to be healthy, okay? Otherwise, you can't exercise that benefit. So that should tell you that, with regard to anything medical or health-wise, you really need to, especially as we age, you need to pay attention to that. Because if you're thinking about using this asset, okay, to buy into other assets, then you need to be healthy to do it. And I'm not saying you need to be Rocky Balboa, okay? I'm not saying that, but I'm also saying that a lot of high blood pressure, diabetes, different types of injuries, could preclude you from certain investments, okay? Remember, we always talk about there are several institutions you could make money with. You can make money by borrowing money from a bank. You can invest with a brokerage house, or you can put money into an insurance policy. But that last one is, again, predicated on your being, mental and physical, okay? So we'll continue to watch this unfortunate crime wave. Baltimore, I think I already mentioned, is over 300 now, okay? And let me say this, because a lot of people will blame this on politicians. And politicians say a lot of stuff to get elected. But let me be quite honest with you. The crime problems in these cities are mostly beyond legislation, okay? What needs to happen, we as families have the power to make it happen, okay? So I don't blame any of this on a, politician not being able to fix something. Somewhere along the line, America got it twisted and started to think that politicians were the answer to every problem, and that nothing could be further from the truth. Now, the politician's not going to tell you that, because he or she just wants to occupy office, okay? And especially if you're in a city or at a local level, because a lot of those politicians are just looking for a job, okay? And they go out and try to win a popularity contest, which is an election. And a lot of them are successful at it, having done nothing substantial in the private sector, okay, where results count, all right? As long as you keep getting enough people to believe in what you're saying, you can keep getting elected no matter how bad your performance, okay? And you can see this with the president of the United States, who's been in office long. He's been in elected office longer than I've been alive, okay? And here we are 50 years after, 50 some odd years after he won his first office, and he's still talking about fixing problems. Damn, man, you had half a century. So anyway, that's what's going on for now, guys. I will talk to you soon.